Welcome back to my channel, AI True Scale. This is Sirisha Ross, your host. So today's guest is Michael Palmer, co-founder of Innosoul Health. What if I tell you the future of health supplements wasn't a pill, a powder, or a capsule, but a strip that dissolves on your tongue and hits your bloodstream in seconds? Michael has spent 3 decades building companies, raising capital, and scaling products across borders. He co-founded Innosoul Health and launched Salt Strips, patented oral thin film technology that's challenging how we think about supplement delivery in a $400 billion market. Michael is a serial entrepreneur, equity financing specialist, and a cross-border operator who's turning a University of Georgia licensed patent into a brand you're going to be hearing a lot more about. Let's welcome Michael onto our show. Welcome, Michael.
Great. Thank you, Sirisha. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad that we're able to make time and share your insights, and it's all pleasure is mine. So, Michael, what made you bet your career on dissolving strips instead of another startup?
Wow, that's a good loaded question. What did we do? What did you do as an entrepreneur, right? I think most of us have that. We're looking for that idea that you can run with and build on and disrupt the technology or find a better solution. And that was the attraction when it came through as an angel investment for me as an angel investor and a mentor and advisor, and thought this was the technology was this, a great solution to those who want performance and want to get the, products into the system quicker than waiting 45 minutes to an hour for a pill or a capsule to actually work, because everything has to go through GI tract and through the liver. And this also helps another problem, those who who can't swallow pills or will not swallow pills. And we know a lot of the vitamin supplements out there are massive, like omega-3s, tough to swallow. Even some of the little ones are kind of hard to swallow as well. But so if we could find that better mousetrap to make people be able to manage their health better, get the performance and get the active to work quickly, and maybe some day down the road it'll help with medical adherence. Those who don't take their meds because they get so tired of having to swallow pills every single day, and a lot of North Americans suffer that.
Yeah, so as I told you, I hate taking pills, and again, I'm a pill user. Another point that I have to add is you forget. So yeah, I forget my aspirin some days. I don't. Next day I'm like, oh, I didn't take my pill. It's just like this one. You can just put it on your tongue, and you're like, okay, you don't have to carry it. You just have it right there, and it's more like it's a fun thing on your tongue than taking a pill, because I hate it. I don't like it.
No, it is, and there is, like I say, a big challenge out there. And as we talk to what the experts tell us in the source codes and research, that over 20% of the global population will not or cannot swallow pills. Mm-hmm. And if you look at all the senior facilities where a lot of them are still using pill crushers, and then crushing and putting that into peanut butter, yogurts, and puddings. The only problem with those pill crushers too afterwards, nurse practitioner or doctor, they don't clean it. The cleaning validation of that, the next patient who gets something might have something that's toxic to them that might be left behind. So it's a real challenge out there, trying to find out what things you can do. And for us, we get maxed out at 100 milligrams of active ingredient. So that's where but you can still take more. You can take it if it means you have to take 2 strips. You take 2 strips. But to help out everybody, including children and seniors, I think we think this technology can be a game changer to really make a difference.
And do we need any prescription from a doctor or a physician for the vitamins, or how does that process go? Or
Great
it's just like
yeah.
you can go and get it from Walgreens and just take it?
Yeah, it's over the counter. So we're lucky that in North America, and both in the United States and in Canada. Mexico being a little bit different. It depends on the active. But most vitamin supplements provided, like for the FDA, we follow the GRAS that generally regarded as safe, and we don't have any banned or active or inactive ingredients in the medication. Vitamin supplements are, the regulatory hurdles are much smoother, provided you don't make medical claims, unless, of course, you put certain products through clinical trials to come back to be able to make those medical claims. So vitamin supplements are just, you walk in the store, buy them online, and I always tell everybody else out there, also just don't take vitamins for the sake of taking vitamins. It's great, but some need to be taken at certain times of the day, and we should all read labels. Read the labels to make sure that what we're putting in our bodies and what's in on that label, is it good for us? And that's what I see what's going on at the FDA, where RFK is making a difference of trying to make America healthy again, and I think that's the right thing. You want to have the supplements, and you just don't want to buy expensive urine. You don't want to just take them, and also you're discharging it an hour later, and it's not really absorbing into your cells properly. So I think checking those things out to make sure it's viable, and we're all different too. The other loaded question is not a bad idea, and a good idea, I think, and you can do it now, is get your microbiome test done. And to find out what maybe you really truly are deficient on, and what you need to supplement on, and what time of day, like a B12. B12s do what they tell us. I'm not an expert or a chief science officer or a doctor or a nurse, but B12 should be absorbed with food in the morning, and it works better. Taking it later at night, it might keep you awake as well. So you got to find the best time to absorb these, and if you're not getting it out of the whole foods that you're eating.
Okay, so we also need to follow that with the dissolved strips as well?
You do. And it's always, we always tell people, like, hey, as much as we can go out there and talk about our products and say, hey, how wonderful they are, and you should be doing this, but just make sure there's nothing in there that you could be allergic to, things like that. And always, if you don't know, now we just tell people, make sure you check with your medical practitioner or your holistic or your homeopath, whatever your go-to medical expert is, to find out if is this going to be good for me, and how should I take it, and things like that. I think that's important for us to be in ourselves. As much as we want to sell and build our company and grow it, we also want to do it the right way. We want to make sure that we're not causing any, we want to make sure we're offering the right things that make a difference and help people really take care of their health and take charge.
Yeah, that's really fantastic that you guys are doing. So where did you first encounter oral thin film technology, and what clicked?
It was probably about 15 years ago. We registered our company, in 2018, did a little bit of reorg and moved from there, but we did a fair bit of R&D prior to that when I first came across, and it was sort of an angel investment for them. And it's like everything else. You check it out, you do all the research and find out, why isn't this in the marketplace? We know that Listerine breath papers have existed for 20 years. When Johnson & Johnson took over that product, they still do very well with it, but Johnson & Johnson, they're huge. They've got so many products, they really haven't developed the technology beyond just to freshen your breath. Johnson & Johnson would probably be someone that, let's see, a company that really builds this category and platform, and then maybe partner up or take it over someday. And do it that way. So it was about 15 years ago, and after doing some extensive R&D like you do as an entrepreneur, and today we have so much great access with artificial intelligence and the internet to find out, is this big, could this category be, and can we make this work? And we, after doing all that, we said, it's worth us jumping in with everything and just seeing if we can really make a difference. And it never is easy. You wish it go quicker as a typical entrepreneur, but you're always out there finding solutions and pivoting where you need to pivot to make it work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think that's awesome that you guys got into it, and I think I didn't know about the Johnson & Johnson took over the Listerine things. That's interesting. So after 30 years of building companies, how did you decide which idea deserves the next decade? Because I know you had like a lot of other things that you invested in your time and money. And why you think this is the one for this decade?
That's a great question. I think again we go back to that resilient, creative, and entrepreneurial mindset that we always call it the unstoppable mindset too. Meaning you find ways. Big companies get so tied up with they're big, so they can't move as quickly as entrepreneurs do. Small and medium-sized enterprises, you're able to turn the ship quicker and move that. So when you look at opportunities, you first of all look at how large is the category? How large is the total addressable market? Is it realistic? And how much of that percentage do you think you can get? First of all, proving out that the technology works, doing focus studies with, various, consumer groups and also athletes, from boxers to hockey to baseball to football, track and field, hikers, skiers, to find out, do you like this? Does it work? And what do you think of it? And do you think there's an opportunity? So you build up that kind of case study and your due diligence and find out. And after doing that, you come back, it checked all the boxes and say, yeah, I think we could, put some of our own skin in, our own money, but we also could probably raise some acceleration capital and bring some other strategic investors on board and see if they want to, take this journey with us and see if we can make a difference. And the more we do this, we do have competitors now, which is good. We actually welcome competitors that brings more recognition to the category, because you can still walk into most stores and even the pharmacists there wouldn't even know what oral thin film is. Some do and some don't, but there's still a large education, which is part of your marketing, to get people to understand it. Why this is not a magical trick. It works, and that's why I think we felt this is definitely worth the time and the effort. And we always know it's going to take longer than you like it. You'd love to see it build up faster. Things come along and you get speed bumps and curveballs, and that's just all part of any business. If business was easy, we'd all be starting our own companies. As much as the entrepreneurial ecosystem is doing phenomenal, and there's some incredible entrepreneurs out there, as you know. But it's just you find something you brings it near and dear to your heart, and also being into health and wellness. This was kind of the perfect vertical for us to get into. So me and our co-founders and partners, we just thought, this is worth going all in and seeing what we can do to make a difference in people's lives.
Go ahead.
No, that's good. Thank you.
So, so how are you facing that challenge? What are you planning to do? Educate people about this and go to the market. Also, you need to educate because it's new in the space. How are you doing it, and what are the challenges that you're facing in the marketing space?
Yeah, it's a good one. There's all sorts of things that we've tried, and we'll continue to do and build as we grow and as we have the budget to be able to increase that strategically. So marketing wise, a lot of that's to do with social media. You'll find us, we'll have our own, Facebook, Instagram page, TikTok, which will start growing a bit more, LinkedIn. So we leverage all those social media channels. And we have two models, because we have a B2C, and we also have a B2B. So the B2C is our online with our own Shopify store. Amazon.com, you'll find us, and Walmart.com. And on the B2B side, it's getting on, regional retail shelves and building up that, even though the end user is always a consumer at the end of the day. But part of that marketing is just to get people to understand. As we sponsor events too, we do a number of events locally. We do the women's run, we do cycling races, we do a polo situation where it's a program, a charity that focuses on stopping abuse against women and families and children. And they have a live charity event, and it's a big polo event, polo match, and it's kind of neat because we can cover both. We can not only focus the Solve strips, but we've also done a private label for an equine vet called Equine Oral Recovery, and that's a performance strip for horses. That horses take strips too, and that helps the horses get the micronutrients back in their body and hydrate better. So we're kind of getting two markets. We're getting the human market, and we're also getting the horse owners, trainers, and breeders, realizing they all spend a lot of money on their horses, as we know. We just have to look at the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes, and you realize that people put a lot of money into their equine, their horses, and we see that opportunity helping us grow our brand, even on the private label side, where we can help other entrepreneurs out that want to try something a little bit different and build their own brand, and we do that on a regular basis too. So that's part of the marketing cachet events that we know it's a target audience that would really like this product and become hopefully loyal users down the road, and just kind of building that And we also like to do marketing where they're not just random acts of marketing. We like to, one billboard is not, as you know, it's not going to deliver a return. You need to be there consistent. People need to know that you care. And also sometimes your marketing can't always be pushing product. Let's talk about vitamin supplements, period. How can we help people, just as we talked earlier, about reading labels, making sure what you're putting in your bodies is good for you, it's going to benefit you, and make a difference. And in all categories. As you know, you walk into Walmart or Target, you've got this walls of vitamin supplements, and where do you go? How do you, do your research? And a lot of people are getting better at it,
Right.
but there's still a big market that just, hey, I need vitamin D, I'm going to grab that. Or I'm going to look for the best price instead of seeing if there is truly a holistic product that is good for you versus it having lots of sugar and binders in it.
True.
So
True.
so it's kind of a long answer to your question about positioning and marketing it, but we know the additional marketing once we get on certain shelves. Maybe that's a Publix, or maybe it's a Kroger's, or an Albertsons, or a Target. That part of our marketing is to help them and train them to how to help them sell this product too, right? When a customer
Right.
walks in the door, how do they come and look for our product? And we know we can offer them great margins. That's why we're fanatical about it. But we also like to be there and help people try it out and see that it's much better than taking pills. So it's lots of ways we strategically can have some fun with really building the awareness and the education as part of our marketing to get people to understand there's an alternative out there that might be better for you.
Yeah, again, like you just need to be creative because retailers, it's
Oh,
just like you need to, if the people recognize the product and they go and ask about it, and that's how you fill the shelves. So you
yeah.
just need to be creative about like how to attract the retailers to ask you for the product instead of you going to them. It's kind of interesting
Yeah,
what you can do with marketing and how you do it.
you do it. And the buyers, as you know, they get hit with 20 new ideas every day. And so what's going to make your product stand out from the pack, right? And it has to be advantageous for them. If you're taking up their shelf space, they have to be able to make the money, the return, as
Right.
much as they want to serve their loyal customers and make sure they're giving them products that they know it's not going to fall back in their face. They know they can trust it. The vendors that they bring on board are going to be bringing quality products that are gonna really make a difference for their customer base.
So, what do you think about like the people reviews? You said you have salt strips on Amazon, right? And
Yeah.
there is always reviews. So, most of the people right now, I don't know how many people are like really going into a pharmacy and picking something up. It's like easy, right? Like right there, they can go and order in Amazon. And people got into this where they look at the reviews and whatever the best sold. That's what they are going to pick and move on. So, are you doing anything about that to maintain the reviews on Amazon products that you're selling?
Yeah, so you can probably talk to my business partner, Michael, another Michael.
Okay.
Michael puts up the frustration with all the back end stuff of Amazon, and they're an interesting. It's a necessary evil. They're massive, and we know that, as you say, people are so addicted to Amazon Prime, the free delivery and stuff, and you can see buildings go by, and Amazon must stop there 3 times a day. It's great. They've built an incredible marketplace. Yeah, exactly. So you do have to be very aware of your reviews, getting people to come on and buy the product to make sure they post hopefully a positive review. And you have to remain, off the top of my head, above a 4 out of the 5 to make sure that you're not going to get pulled off the platform. And there are sometimes, and it could even be a competitor that decides to come in there and put a negative review on there. You have to watch that,
Right.
monitor that, and get it off the platform. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you constantly have to work and massage and leverage Amazon every day to make sure that you're getting positioned. There's no question the more ad spend you put in there, you're going to get higher rankings, and making sure that your reviews match that you're always on the high level, the high positive with them, so you're getting nothing but positive reviews. And you're right, people do. Amazon users, that's what they focus on, and that's they want to hear what other people have to say and what they value their opinions. And if it's a high, they realize if everybody's using it, it must be a good product. You know?
Right. Right. It's all about the trust building, and Amazon did build that trust with all the consumers. So They just go with, I mean, one day if Amazon says that, okay, even the product reviews are 2, if they want to bump it up and sponsor as a 5 rating,
Yeah.
you will see like the sales go hike up. So again, so that's how the trust building a
Yeah.
product is, and they're doing a great job. And I
Exactly.
did hear about the hurdles with Amazon. I was talking to someone else, and they were sharing the same thing. Yeah, we went there, and the distribution partner that we worked with, Amazon, or the director, he quit, and all
Yeah.
our product is sitting in the Amazon store somewhere, and the ratings are, we don't have any ratings, and we have to work on it. I'm like, I didn't even know that there will be hurdles like that.
Yeah. We can add to that too. We've had a couple of hurdles too, and obviously for us as we grow and expand our working base, getting a full-time digital expert or two on board to take that even off of Michael's lap because he and have them focus because Amazon is a full-time focus
Right.
for one person too. But we had challenges. They didn't think that it was our trademarks. They thought that so they just take your product off the shelf, send the
Mm-hmm.
product back to you, then you got to ship it back to them on their dime. Once you resolve that problem, realize you guys have the paperwork on our trademarks. You have that. It's
Right.
we're the registered owners. But things you have to constantly monitor that, and they're huge. They've got people all remotely based all over the place. Besides in their massive distribution centers, and you just have to be. It's a full time job, and you just have to. And you'll reap the benefits, but you just have to be able to
Well,
to really manage it. And it's a full time job just to make sure you're constantly positioned in a positive light to every one of the Amazon. You know,
true. Yeah, I hear you. So, now talking about the hurdles, what surprised you most about building a health brand across the US Canada border? That's another thing that
yeah,
you need to do.
you do. And so far, we're lucky. In that case, we watch and see what's going on with the tariffs, but so far so good.
Hmm.
We actually offshore manufacture, so our product comes in through the port of New York, and then we bring product into Canada. We do that too. Comes in through the most likely Port of Montreal or Halifax. So we watch that. We also watch where we're manufacturing it. The tariffs are minimal, so far it's not affecting our bottom line in that sense. But we just have to be we have to watch all that and all the trade challenges that are out there to make sure that we're getting it across, and then we're doing making sure that our paperwork is impeccable with shipping codes, all the things that you need to do. Sometimes even the FDA at the border in New York will put new products through a microbiome test. And we have to do that to make sure because again they're monitoring to make sure our whatever is on our qualitative quality reports that it matches the bacteria that we say is there, and they want to make sure it's safe coming in and it's going to be safe for all users. So those hurdles getting back and forth the border. There's no question things are much more efficient in the U.S. Shipping prices coast to coast are much more economical than in Canada. You can ship from Halifax to Vancouver. That product could cost you $16. In the U.S., that from New York to L.A. would be $3, $3.50. So it's a big difference on cost. So, hence why we have a larger focus on the U.S. market, but just make sure that we're presenting it. Every state is different. We look at those things. What might be good in New York may not be good in North Dakota. So you always have to be same thing in Canada, same thing else worldwide. Some things might be more important to that local market versus what other markets want to do. We treat every market differently, even though you've got a general theme and a general the way you promote it. But you have to be very aware of
Hmm.
interstate differences because as there is.
That's interesting. Yeah, anyone who is starting thinking about having a business like this, they need to think about all these FDA regulatory and compliance when you're doing all this, and especially you need to know about the each state law, and also when you're doing Canada and US. I think you need to take care of all this. It's not that you have a product and you just go to
Yeah.
market and think that it's going to work.
Yeah, no,
So
you're so
that's
right. It's all that stuff you got to take in consideration, and that's all part of the game. It's all part of the going
right.
forward. You're finding it out, and hopefully you find it out sooner than later. And
Hmm.
and I always say have a good mentor or two around you. As you tell all entrepreneurs, if they get to the point where they can join a like-minded founder and CEO group, I would highly recommend that too. Because business is business, no matter what business you're in. There's still a lot of stuff, that all the blind spots. And someday you want to get away from that being that tactical founder, that tactical CEO, where you got to know everything, get your hands on everything. Just get out of your own way. Trust your team, get them and start working on the business. When you're at that point, you should be able to go away for 5 days of vacation, and the business should run by itself, right? Yeah. And if it can't, if you're looking at exit strategies, you want to make sure that, hey, when that time comes, they want to make sure that if they buy the business and the founder's long and gone, is the business going to flop? Because it all just counts on you. So it's all part of that getting into business and doing as much, homework as you can. And then just jump in. Don't quit your full-time job until you can pay yourself.
That's true too.
And also, if you start raising capital with investors, they don't want you having side hustles either, right? They're investing in you, investing in the disruption that you can take it somewhere. So they want you fully focused on building this company as you promised, right? So
that's a very good advice. Yeah, you just need to cover everything, your bases, before you jump into something.
Yeah.
At unknown territory, and having the mentors definitely helps. So yeah, I think that's a very good advice and insight. So my next question is, how do you explain mucosal absorption to someone who never heard of it?
Good, yeah, good loaded. We call it Buccal, as in Buccal, Buccal absorption. So the buccal mucosa. We just kind of say it's absorption through the lining of your cheek. So by placing a strip on your tongue, not under the tongue like sublingual. They're similar, but the buccal is still a little bit more efficient. So it just gets in your system. It absorbs through your cheek lining, which gets into your bloodstream within 5 minutes. So it's a first pass of your GI tract and your liver. And the neat thing about that, as you know, your liver filters everything, and there's going to be a little bit of liquid that gets into that'll go that route, even off the strips. It's just the way it is. But on our melatonin for sleep aid, we use 3 milligrams. A lot of people say that, hey, melatonin is not good for you, or it doesn't work for me. And the reason being, any melatonin that you take by pill, capsule, gummy, it has to go through your liver. We have clinical trials and data that the liver will kill up to 90% of the melatonin active. So hence why you've got to take more than 3 milligrams. People start taking 10 and 20 milligrams via strip, since it's the bioavailability, which means the amount that's available to you to use in your system. Oral thin film strips are closer to 90% bioavailability, so the absorption is much better through the cheek line, the oral cavity, the buccal, the mucosa. So trying to explain it, simply put, absorption absorbs on your tongue and through your lining of your cheeks, and it gets in your system that way versus traditional swallowing ways.
Okay, and I was just curious, do you have any iron supplement in salt strips?
Right now we don't, and that's one active that we've struggled with. It may change. Iron's a very difficult molecule, according to our chief science officer, and it's very bitter in taste. So if you can get it to stabilize, every new product that you do to get a 2-year shelf life has to go through a 6-month accelerated stability testing. So we've done that numerous times with iron, but they can't get it to where it's a highly still bitter taste. And if it's that bitter, no one's going to put it on their tongue. It's going to be too. So that's our challenge too, because iron would be, especially for the female market, would be advantageous for us to try to find a way of finding a successful route to get that to work and commercialized.
Yeah, I'll look for that in future, because I do take a slow fee every day, so 45 mg supplement, and I was kind of thinking about it. And also the reason I brought it up is for iron, you need to combine it with vitamin C.
Yeah.
And for it to absorb quickly and effectively in your bloodstream. So I was thinking about, like, what if you can come up with something iron and vitamin C together, so that will kind of help, especially females.
Yeah, for sure, because I know both my daughters take iron supplements every day, and it's important, because I think a lot of us don't, certain things, even during COVID, when they were doing tests, they found that the majority of us were vitamin D deficient. It doesn't matter if you're living in a sun belt. you know. And even if you have darker skin, what we found too that in order for the absorption of the sun rays, even dark skinned people have to burn to get that vitamin D, the right amount of vitamin D. So we do need to ramp up on that as well. And sometimes vitamin D3 is also better with vitamin K, just like you were saying with the vitamin C and iron. You're finding these packaging up instead of just it being a single supplement like a B12. Have it packaged up where you're focusing on that true microbiome, gut, and as you know, people are focused on longevity, gut health. Gut health is related to brain health. We know it's all attached. So we have to be finding ways that we can perform better throughout the day and feel not exhausted, feel like we feel recovered, refreshed, and we know that we're putting the right things into our systems that can make a difference for every one of us.
Yeah, interesting. I just sidetracked a little bit with my. I wanted to ask that question about the iron.
That's a good one.
So what's something you believe about the supplement industry that most people would disagree with?
Wow, that's probably lots of ideas there too, but I think don't believe what you hear and see. I would say on everything you do your homework and just make sure that, and also deal with your fitness, your health, medical professions, that this is what you need, and do the homework to find out if that product, each and every product has what it says it has in there, and make sure just do your due diligence on that to make sure that, because there is, you get emails every day of, starts off, it's like the old style infomercial. It goes on that you have this problem. And then I'm a medical doctor, went to Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and at the end they're going to get into a vitamin supplement. An hour later into the call, on the video, and they're selling everything. And they're putting plants in from Brazil, from Kenya, all the things that you can combine into that active. And I just say, great, but just do your homework, because it's overwhelming what's out there, and you just have to make sure that what you need, go check that out. And I would say, if you can afford it, it's good. It should be included in our health plans, quite frankly. We know it's not yet, but getting a microbiome test might give you more evidence for each person what maybe you should be, instead of just putting that into your system because you think it's good. It's not going to hurt you, but go out there and find out what you really need to put into your daily routine that's going to make a difference for you. And I think life is busy. We live in the noise economy, and we know everything's coming at us, especially with artificial intelligence.
Correct.
And it's overwhelming for the majority out there, just, the amount of information we have at our fingertips.
Right.
And the amount of people who claim themselves as being an expert, or these supplements are the best things that you can put in your body. Just make sure you check it out. And that's what I think the biggest faux pas is in the supplement industry, is just go out there and find out what, and even though it's a big brand, they still have lots of, just make sure they don't have the sugars and the binders in there that, and things that can cause some allergies for you yourself personally. But
yeah, so research, and research. And now with AI, the research is in your fingertips. Like, just go to ChatGPT or Claude, and it's going to give you the whole history about what you need to know.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So walk us through how a new customer typically discovers salt strips today.
Ooh, that's probably different ways. But, on the Align community, hopefully they've seen a social media, piece or a blog on LinkedIn, at an event. If we are at events such as let's say the Calgary Women's Run that did the 5K in the 10K, as in kilometers in Canada, of course. Or if we do these are all these extreme events that go on too, that athletes push themselves to do a 100-mile race, a day over 3 days. So they do 300 miles, all sorts of things. So events that we get out there and do, we're able to pass out samples. I think that's where a lot of our new customers find us. And hopefully, besides the online profile, eventually they'll start finding us on the shelves when they walk into their favorite stores, and they'll see us there too.
Right. And any challenges that you're facing right now, is it kind of like a marketing challenge that you're facing right now to get that word out? Or do you think you're doing everything that needs to or is supposed to be done to get the salt strips known for all your customers?
We're nowhere near hitting our capacity or our tipping point of marketing leverage. As of course it comes to budgets, and that's probably one of our one of our road bumps until we get a larger budget into place for that strategically. So I think that's always a challenge to get that out there, and also dealing with buyers. You building those relationships, and also it's an art and a science. You need to have a good distributor too, because all the retailers will come back because all the products come from the distributors, like a McKesson or a Unify or a CNS Whole Foods. They're all regional distributors, so you've got to get them on board, and they've got to buy into why are we going to spend time promoting you to get them onto our client shelves. And the buyers are the same way. We see 20 ideas a day, it stands out, and you've got to find ways, get to know each and every buying group, whether that's an Albertsons or a Kroger's or a CVS or Walgreens, what's important to them and their customer base, understanding them better versus just pushing product, trying to build that relationship in a busy world to realize that this product can help attract bringing customers in the store, asking for it, and the fact that it doesn't take a lot of shelf space, and it's got high margins and it can deliver good products. It's getting that message out and building that and having trustworthy, really good distributors that really have your back in all cases to get that to do what they say they're going to do, versus just kind of, hey, we represent 50 products, we don't need you guys, we're not going to put the effort in. Then that's not a good partner. You want to find partners that think that you're pretty unique and you think they're unique, and you want to work together, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. The journey is a marathon, right? So it's not going to happen just like this. It's hard to be patient, but you just have to be, and you don't have to be on every shelf. You don't have to be great. Everyone wants to be everything to everybody, but you know what? Just be on the right shelves to serve your potential and future customers that that they're going to really be glad that they found this product, and you can really help them with their journey as well.
Okay. So the same lines, I have another question. If you did not address the capital challenge effectively in the next 12 to 18 months, what do you foresee as the biggest missed opportunity or risks for your company's growth and market share?
Yeah, in a big way. We can still grow. We can still plod along and make a difference, but not as fast enough as we need to hit this category as we're in. We need to make a difference quicker, so you need that growth and acceleration capital, so you're able to onboard new colleagues that have that same burning fire in their bellies, that like the mission, make it about them and what they'd like to do to make a difference in their local communities. So if we don't get the acceleration capital, we can still move forward, but just not as quickly, and we can't introduce as many products. We'd love to have 5 to 6 more SKUs by the end of the year. And again, we've got 100 products that are ready, but we want to let our buyers let us know what they'd like to see next, versus us trying to the old way of doing it, build and they will come. We'd rather just, what do you think would it be a B12 or a D3 with a K, or a different formulation, or a probiotic, or a prebiotic, things like that. So we want them to tell us, that they've got the market that would support this next SKU that we're going to put into place. So I think capital is very important for us to meet those goals and objectives, of getting the product out into more people using it, because we can make a difference with them, help their personal health protocols, and we get more of this into people's hands and quicker than versus, being too slow.
So what are your ideas about bringing the capital to the table?
We've got some things that we're arranging, and we'll probably bring a couple of extra strategic investors on board. There's certain things you can do if you got a purchase order from a well-known, recognizable retailer like a Target or a Kroger's. You could probably do some purchase order financing too. But I think for our grand goals and our big, hairy, audacious goals, as we call them, the bags, we'd like to get that acceleration capital in our hands. That we can really make a difference, versus waiting it to be another 3 or 4 years. We need to make it happen now. So I think getting some of these strategic investors on board here in the next few months would help us really build that hockey stick growth.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So you have built this brand on science and patents, but I'm curious about the operational side. As the product line grows and you're reaching more channels, where does the technology, especially AI, start playing a bigger role? in what you're building?
Yeah, no, good question too. Of course, we leverage AI now, like all of us do, from your basic of your Chat GPTs and the higher model of Chat GPT, Claude, Copilot, whatever it does. And like you mentioned earlier about Claude, we find it very a little bit better organized in some ways, even with writing a book. You could turn around and say, I need a 200-page book. I need, here's what I like to base it on. Health and wellness journey, 16 chapters, 5,000 words. You get an outline in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, as you know, and you get a really good in-depth with having a nugget at the end. And so I think Claude does a really good job when it comes to, I know a lot of legal firms and a lot of accounting firms use Claude versus OpenAI. So I think it helps us with our marketing, our ideas. We can tweak our business plans, our marketing plans. Those days that you're just can't get any out of you're having if I can say brain fart day.
Yeah.
AI is really great for getting some ideas out and to get the creative juices going. And as you grow as a company, you want to make sure that your back end and your accounting and all your CRM tools is all connected with AI. So you're communicating, you're efficient. Everybody in the corporation can have access to information in seconds. And also, I always say AI is not going to replace us. AI will replace those who are not implementing AI into their daily regimen of work. So, strategy is always going to be conducted and maneuvered by humans, but AI is just a great prop to really get us all to be more efficient. So any way we can be more efficient, we'll implement those tools to make us. So AI is very important for us too, to make sure that we're being more proactive and not reactive.
Correct. Yeah. Well said. Yeah. That's the gist of the AI. Like, yeah, if you're not going to get replaced by AI, but if you don't use it, then yes, there will be a chance. That's a good insight. So if AI could customize a strip formula per person, how close are you to that reality?
It's probably like 3D printing was, right, when it came out. So I don't think it's that far away. I think we're talking fairly soon, and it's being played with as we speak to can you get things moving, formulations done quicker, can you get this, and can you produce it in a different way? So I think that's being seriously looked at to make sure that you can implement that in the same way back in the labs too. And move things along. Any way we can move that, will it make clinical trials go by faster? If we were to put ibuprofen and acetaminophen, we'd want to do clinical trials. It's an over-the-counter product, but we know that acetaminophen's hard in your liver, so if we can deliver it through the buccal, the mucosa, that would be advantageous. If you could do ibuprofen, it's a little easier on your stomach lining to have it absorbed through your cheek lining too. So finding ways can AI help move that needle quicker and more efficiently, and making sure that it's fully, commercialized in the right ways. So I think it's there, and it's probably pretty soon we can start leveraging it.
Awesome. That's interesting. So I think we're very close to the end, and like you're sharing a lot of good insights, and we're going everywhere from AI to the product and back and forth. So, but again, I need to be cognizant of your time. I have like several other questions, but I think I can't cover in 1 hour. So I think I'll have one last question, and we'll wrap it. So if you could solve one major challenge today, what would it be?
Good question. There's so many angles you can go at there. If you can solve one problem, solving adherence, medical adherence, meaning people to take the right medications as prescribed and their supplements and take it in the less evasive way, the quicker, the more efficient way, and helping people with, getting healthier and getting more fit. I think that all encompasses into one, and making that a challenge that we can all look at. Longevity meaning, it's not, hey, we're going to live to we're 200 years old, but it's just keeping ourselves younger inside and more vibrant, that as we get older, we're still able to enjoy an active life. If we can help with that journey and getting people to take the things and being cautious every day to take it, and I think that's where we can make a difference in helping people with keeping healthy and getting healthier and getting stronger and being more fit later in life.
That's fantastic, Michael. So yeah, this has been genuinely fascinating conversation. You have given us like science behind a dissolving strip and the way what it means to build a patent-backed health brand. across 2 countries, 3 decades. And I think everyone listening who's building a product, raising a capital, and trying to disrupt a legacy industry just got a masterclass in how it's actually done. And thank you so much. You're generous with your time and your insights. And I have a feeling we'll be checking back in as salt strips continues to grow. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for having me, Sirisha. I've had a blast, and I've really enjoyed our conversation today.
Awesome. Thank you.